Four Arms has been punching things since 2005, and the Omnitrix has never stopped finding new ways to make those punches hit harder. He has been enhanced, armored, corrupted, fused, stolen, and rebuilt across 4 series and 20 years. Here is every variant explained. Original Series 4 Arms. He is the fist that launched the franchise. 4 Arms is a Tetramand from the planet Koros, and his debut in the original Ben 10 series established the template that every subsequent variant would modify, but never replace. 12 feet tall, red skin, 4 muscular arms ending in 4-fingered hands, 2 primary eyes and 2 secondary eyes beneath them, a black stripe running from his chin to his lower lip, and a body mass that makes him the largest alien in Ben's original 10-alien starting roster. 4 Arms is Ben's answer to every problem that requires force rather than finesse, the transformation he reaches for when the enemy is too big, too strong, or too durable for any other alien to handle through anything more subtle than a direct physical impact. His abilities are straightforward to the point of elegance. Enhanced strength that allows him to uproot streetlights, lift and throw trucks, and punch through reinforced walls. Enhanced durability that lets his skin deflect bullets. Enhanced jumping that lets him cross city blocks in a single leap. And a sonic clap that generates shockwaves by slamming all 4 palms together simultaneously, a signature move whose concussive force can stagger enemies at range and shatter glass across an entire building face. The original 4 Arms has no energy projection, no elemental manipulation, no technological augmentation. He is pure physical force delivered through a body that was evolved on a planet where the dominant survival strategy is being bigger and stronger than everything else in the food chain. 10-year-old Ben's relationship with 4 Arms defines the alien's identity across the original series. 4 Arms is the cool one, the one Ben wants to be when the Omnitrix dial spins, the one whose power feels the most satisfying because the power is the most direct. You hit things. The things stop moving. There is no complexity, there is no calculation, there is just the impact. Kevin 11's 4 Arms. The stolen version lives inside a body that was never designed to hold it. When Kevin 11 absorbed the Omnitrix's energy in the original series, 4 Arms Tetramand DNA merged with 9 other alien species inside Kevin's body, and the result is a chimeric mutation where 4 Arms' contribution is simultaneously the most visible and the most diluted. Kevin 11's upper body mass, his broad chest and thick arms, comes from the Tetramand template. His physical strength, which exceeds a standard 4 Arms despite operating at 1/10 Tetramand power, derives from the cumulative stacking of multiple alien physiologies layered on top of 4 Arms musculature. But the 4 Arms component in Kevin's body is not functioning as 4 Arms. It is functioning as a structural foundation, a skeleton of Tetramand strength, upon which 9 other alien power sets are mounted. Kevin does not have 4 arms, he has 2 because the chimeric fusion compressed the Tetramand's additional limbs into a single pair whose density exceeds what 2 arms should possess. The 4 arms inside Kevin 11 is a ghost, a DNA template that shapes the body without manifesting its signature feature, and the absence of those 2 additional arms is the visual marker that tells the audience Kevin's version of 4 arms is fundamentally broken. The Omnitrix transforms cleanly because the device controls the DNA integration. Kevin's absorption has no control system. The 4 Arms DNA merged however biology allowed it to merge, and what biology produced was a foundation rather than a form. Gwen, 10 4 Arms. She uses the same alien differently because she is a different person, and the difference is the lesson the Omnitrix is teaching without anyone noticing. In the original series episode Gwen 10, a what-if scenario where Gwen Tennyson finds the Omnitrix instead of Ben, Gwen transforms into 4 Arms and deploys the Tetramand's abilities with a tactical approach that Ben's version never demonstrates in equivalent scenarios. Ben's 4 Arms charges. Gwen's 4 Arms evaluates. Where Ben uses the 4 Arms to deliver more punches simultaneously, Gwen uses them for simultaneous manipulation, grappling an opponent with one pair while striking with the other, creating holds and locks that a 2-armed opponent cannot escape because there are always more arms available than there are limbs to counter them. The distinction reveals something about 4 Arms that Ben's impulsive combat style obscures. A Tetramand's 4 Arms are not just force multipliers, They are coordination tools. A creature with 4 arms can perform 4 independent actions simultaneously, which means the tactical ceiling for a 4 arms transformation is not how hard you can hit, but how many things you can do at once. Ben uses 4 arms like a hammer, Gwen uses 4 arms like a Swiss Army knife that happens to have fists, and the contrast between their approaches is the franchise's quietest argument that the Omnitrix does not determine the hero. The hero determines the Omnitrix. Some Ben. 10,000 4 arms. The future version is bigger, older, and carries the weight of decades of combat in every movement. Ben 10,000's 4 arms appears in the original series episodes Ben 10,000 and Ken 10, and the design reflects what a Tetramand transformation looks like when the person inside has been using it for 20 years rather than 2 summers. The musculature is denser, the jaw is heavier, the posture communicates authority rather than enthusiasm, a Tetramand who has hit so many things over so many years that hitting is no longer exciting. It is maintenance. Ben 10,000's relationship with 4 arms mirrors his relationship with every alien in his playlist by that point in his life. He has used them all so many times that the transformations have become routine, each one a tool pulled from a drawer rather than a power discovered for the first time. The 10,000 4 arms lacks the joy that 10-year-old Ben's version carries, and that absence is the point. 4 arms was the alien that made Ben feel powerful as a child. Ben 10,000's 4 arms is the alien that makes him feel nothing, because power stops being thrilling when it becomes ordinary. If you're enjoying this so far, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment with the 4 arms variant you think looks the best. Let us get back into it. It's on Alien Force 4 arms. He comes back bigger, and the return matters because the absence mattered. 4 arms is not part of Ben's active playlist during the first season of Ben 10 Alien Force. The recalibrated Omnitrix that 16-year-old Ben wears provides a new roster of aliens, and 4 arms is locked away behind a selection screen that Ben cannot access until the device allows it. When 4 arms finally returns, the design has changed to reflect Ben's aging. The body is taller, the proportions are leaner, less stocky, and more athletic than the original series' barrel-chested design. The outfit has changed from the white t-shirt to a more fitted uniform. And Ben's voice inside the transformation has deepened, matching the 16-year-old piloting the Tetramand body rather than the 10-year-old who originally discovered it. Alien Force 4 arms return is significant because it proves that 4 arms is not replaceable. Ben has access to Fourmungousaur, a Vaxasaurian whose size-shifting ability and raw strength arguably exceed 4 arms' baseline output. He has Wrath, an Apoplexian whose aggression-fueled combat style fills the berserker role 4 arms sometimes occupied. He has multiple aliens who can fill the strongman position in his roster, and yet when 4 arms comes back, the transformation feels like a reunion rather than a redundancy. 4 arms occupies a space in Ben's identity that no other alien replicates because 4 arms was the first alien that made Ben feel invincible, and the emotional association between the transformation and that feeling of childhood invincibility survives even after the child grows up and gains access to aliens that are technically more powerful. Omniverse 4 arms. The redesign is the most dramatic visual overhaul any recurring alien in the franchise has received. Omniverse 4 arms, designed by Derek J. Wyatt, maintains the Tetramand's core silhouette, 4 arms, red skin, massive frame, but reimagines the details with a stylistic boldness that divided the fanbase when the series debuted in 2012. The jaw is more angular, the brow is more pronounced, the fingers are thicker. The overall aesthetic leans into the alien aspect of the Tetramand design, making 4 arms look less like a muscular human, with extra arms and more like a creature from a planet where physical strength is the primary evolutionary currency. The Omniverse design exists in 2 versions, the 11-year-old 4 arms used during flashback sequences, and the 16-year-old 4 arms used during the present-day narrative. Both versions share the same basic design language but differ in proportion, with the 16-year-old version being taller, broader, and more physically imposing. Omniverse also provides the most extensive Tetramand world-building in franchise history. The planet Koros is depicted as a warlike civilization where combat determines social status, where marriages are arranged through physical contests, and where female Tetramands are significantly stronger than males, a detail that the show reveals when Princess Luma Redwind effortlessly overpowers Ben's 4 arms in a duel whose stakes include a marriage contract that Kevin inadvertently signed. Four Arms on Koros is not a unique specimen. He is a member of a species, and the species' context transforms the alien from a simple strongman into a cultural ambassador for an entire civilization built on the principle that strength is the only language worth speaking. Negative 4 arms. Albedo's version is the same species in the wrong color, and the wrong color tells you everything. When Albedo uses his corrupted Omni-Trix to transform into 4 arms, the resulting Tetramand is identical to Ben's in every biological dimension. Same strength, same durability, same 4 arms, same 4 eyes, same sonic clap. The difference is the palette. Negative 4 arms' skin is blue tinged rather than red, and the Omnitrix symbol on his chest glows red rather than green, an inverted color scheme that visually marks every one of Albedo's transformations as copies produced by a device that is fundamentally flawed. The color inversion is not cosmetic, it is diagnostic, a visual symptom of the fact that Albedo's Omnitrix was built from stolen specifications and calibrated against Ben's DNA rather than original Tetramand genetic samples. Negative 4 arms is a copy of a copy, a Tetramand transformation derived from Ben's Tetramand transformation rather than from a direct scan of the species, and the inverted colors are the device's way of marking the degradation. The franchise never explicitly states whether negative 4 arms is weaker than Ben's version, but the implication of the copy of a copy origin is that each generation of duplication introduces errors that accumulate invisibly beneath the surface. Reboot 4 arms. The 2016 Ben 10 Reboot redesigned 4 arms for a new generation, and the redesign preserved the alien's core identity while adjusting the visual language for a younger target audience. Reboot 4 arms is slightly less massive than the original series version, his proportions more animated and his expressions more exaggerated, reflecting the reboot's overall aesthetic, which prioritizes fluid movement and comedic timing over the original series' more grounded character designs. The reboot's 4 arms is the first version in franchise history to serve as the transformation Ben debuts with in the alternate timeline. In the reboot's version of events, the first alien Ben transforms into when the Omnitrix attaches is 4 arms rather than Heat Blast, a reversal of the original series opening that immediately signals the reboot's willingness to rewrite established moments while maintaining the same emotional beats. 4 Arms is also one of only 5 aliens who remained in Ben's active playlist across all 5 seasons of the reboot, the others being Heat Blast, XLR8, Diamond Head, and Cannonbolt, which makes him one of the reboot's most consistently present transformations. He was the first and the last alien to go Omni-Kix on screen, bookending the upgrade system with the franchise's most straightforward fighter, and the last alien Ben uses in the reboot's final episode, which is either a coincidence of production scheduling or a deliberate creative decision to end the series with the alien whose identity is most synonymous with Ben's own. Omni-Enhanced 4 Arms. The Fulmini infection gave 4 Arms 2 extra hands and nobody asked for them. Omni-Enhanced 4 Arms is the Omnitrix 4 Arms coated in Fulmini energy rock armor, and the most striking visual change is the addition of a third pair of arms, blue energy constructs that extend from his shoulders above the existing 4 biological arms, giving him 6 limbs total. The extra arms are not biological. They are Fulmini energy projections, crystalline constructs whose strength exceeds the organic arms they supplement because Fulmini energy operates at a higher output than Tetramand muscle. Omni-Enhanced 4 Arms' chest and shoulders are covered in gray rock armor, his head is encased in a helmet, and his legs are reinforced with plating that increases his mass and reduces his mobility in exchange for durability that exceeds the base form's already considerable toughness. The 6-arm configuration is Omni-Enhanced 4 Arms' most significant combat upgrade because it changes the alien's tactical mathematics entirely. Standard 4 Arms can perform 4 simultaneous actions, Omni-Enhanced 4 Arms can perform 6, and the additional 2 actions are powered by Fulmini energy rather than biological muscle, which means they do not tire, do not weaken, and do not diminish over the course of a fight, the way organic limbs eventually do. The Omni-Enhanced system is a contamination rather than an upgrade. fulmini energy leaking from Shockrock's presence in the Omnitrix into Ben's other transformations, and the power it provides is borrowed from a species that is actively invading Earth. Omni-Kix, 4 arms. The armor turns 4 arms from a brawler into a siege engine. Omni-Kix 4 arms was the first Omni-Kix form to appear on screen and the last, bookending the entire Omni-Kix gimmick with the franchise's most physically direct alien. The suit encases 4 arms in red and white plating with black reinforcement, a mechanized combat shell designed by Azimuth to enhance the Tetramand's already formidable combat capabilities without altering the biological foundation beneath the armor. The helmet features 2 green visors and reinforced mandible plating. The shoulder and forearm armor includes piston-driven mechanisms that hydraulically amplify the force of every punch, turning an already devastating Tetramand strike into something that registers on a scale conventional measurement struggles to quantify. The most significant upgrade is the Rocket Fist capability. Omni-Kix 4 arms can fire his fists as ranged projectiles, converting a melee-exclusive alien into a fighter with engagement capability at distances the base form could never reach. Standard 4 arms needs to close distance. Omni-Kix 4 arms can hit you from across the battlefield while walking toward you, and when he arrives, the pistons are already cycling for the punch that the Rocket Fist softened you up for. Omni-Kix 4 arms debuted against Breaker 19, an enemy who had just defeated standard Fourmungousaur, establishing the Omni-Kix system's power tier through a statement fight that proved the armor elevates 4 arms above aliens that outclass his base form. Quad Smack. Kevin built a bootleg 4 arms and made it meaner. Quad Smack is the Antitrix's corrupted version of 4 arms, a Tetramand transformation produced by a device Kevin Levin constructed using instructions from Vilgax, and the corruption is visible in every detail of the alien's design. Quad Smack is bulkier than 4 arms, with thicker limbs, heavier plating, and a more aggressive posture that communicates hostility rather than strength. His fists are chain-linked, connected by energy tethers that allow him to swing his arms in wide arcs whose reach exceeds what 4 arms' standard proportions permit, turning punches into flail strikes that carry additional momentum from the chain's centrifugal force. The chain link mechanic is Quad Smack's signature distinction, an offensive modification that the standard Tetramand biology does not support because standard Tetramand arms are not designed to be used as weapons attached to cables. Kevin modified the DNA to produce a Tetramand variant that fights dirty by default, an alien whose physiology incorporates a weapon system that no naturally evolved Tetramand would possess. The corruption is intentional. Kevin did not accidentally produce a different 4 arms. He deliberately altered the genetic template to create something more violent, more destructive, and more aligned with his philosophy that power is not a tool. It is a statement. Quad Smack says something 4 arms never says. I was built to hurt you, and the person who built me wanted that. Fourmungousaur. Ben 10,000 looked at 4 arms and Fourmungousaur and decided that choosing between them was a problem that engineering could solve. The Biome Nitrix, a paired Omnitrix system worn on both wrists by the adult future version of Ben Tennyson, can fuse 2 alien DNA samples into a single hybrid transformation, and Fourmungousaur is the fusion of 4 arms Tetramand DNA with Fourmungousaur's Vaxasaurian DNA. The result is a creature that combines 4 arms, 4-armed fighting style with Fourmungousaur's ability to grow from 12 feet to 60 feet tall, producing a variable size 4-armed dinosaur warrior whose strength at maximum height exceeds anything either component alien can achieve individually. At base size, Fourmungousaur is a 4-armed Vaxasaurian, faster and more agile than Fourmungousaur, but smaller. At maximum size, he is a 60-foot Tetramand Vaxasaurian hybrid, whose 4 fists each carry the proportional strength of a building-sized limb, backed by 2 species worth of enhanced musculature. The fusion answers the franchise's most persistent 4 arms limitation. Standard 4 arms cannot grow. His 12-foot frame is fixed, and while his strength is enormous within that frame, enemies who exceed his size class can overcome his power through sheer mass differential. Fourmungousaur removes the limitation entirely. If the enemy is bigger, Fourmungousaur grows bigger. If the enemy is stronger, Fourmungousaur grows stronger. The ceiling is wherever Fourmungousaur's growth ceiling sits, and that ceiling is 60 feet of 4-armed fury that the franchise has never depicted being matched by anything that is not a reality warper. Fourmungousaur is the franchise's ultimate forearms because it is forearms without the one constraint that ever held him back, and that is every forearms variant the franchise has produced across 20 years and 4 series. 12 versions of the same alien, each one a different answer to the same question. How do you improve something whose original design was already built around being the biggest and the strongest thing in the room? The original forearms answered with simplicity. Kevin 11 answered with theft. Gwen answered with tactics. Ben 10,000 answered with experience. Alien Force answered with maturity. Omniverse answered with culture. Albedo answered with imitation. The Reboot answered with redesign. Omni-Enhanced answered with extra arms. Omni-Kix answered with armor. Quad Smack answered with cruelty. And Fourmungousaur answered with fusion, combining forearms with the only alien whose growth ability could remove the last limitation the Tetramand frame ever carried. 12 variants. 1 alien, and the alien's identity has never changed across any of them because forearms was never defined by his design. He was defined by his function: hit things, hit them harder, and when the things stop moving, the job is done.